Hey, what's up, YouTube family? This your man Pristine back with another video. Thank you for tuning in. I got another unboxing for you, and wow, I'm excited. I ordered this joint the other day. It was delivered today. DHL. They wasn't playing, man. They got this device to me in an absolute hurry, and I am so ecstatic. This device, a lot of hype surrounding this particular device. It was unveiled back in Mobile World Congress back in February, and this was one of the first, if not the first, Android variant device that was unveiled to have the notch display, very reminiscent of the iPhone X. What am I talking about? So glad you asked. Ladies and gentlemen, here before you is the Asus Zenfone 5. Now, you guys already know that I am a huge fan of Asus devices. Man, I think that they are very much so underrated and slept on. They make good quality products with excellent cameras. And it blows my mind that all these devices that are out, they talk about the camera performance and this and that, and ain't nobody talking about Asus. And I've seen some of these cameras on these Asuses just as good, if not better, exceed some of the competition. And this particular device is no different. So without further ado, let's crack this box, y'all. Let's crack this box. All right, y'all, here we go. So let's get underway with this unboxing. Now, real quick before I take it out of the box here, let's go down the spec sheet really quickly so that we know exactly what we're dealing with before we crack this joint out of the box, all right? Now, first off, we've got a 6.2-inch 1080 by 2246 pixel IPS LCD display. We've got a pixel density of 402. We've got a Snapdragon 636 processor in here. We've got 4 gigs of RAM with 64 gigs of onboard storage. Storage can be expanded up to 400 gigs, Asus is claiming. We do have dual SIM slots, which is a plus. We have an octa-core Cryo 260 CPU, and we've got an Adreno 509 GPU. Now, this phone is rocking glass on the front and the back. We've got Gorilla Glass 3 that has been the glass grade specification. So according to Gorilla Glass 3, which should help protect your device, but I mean, of course, as always, get a case screen protector. I do believe that a little rubber TPU gel case comes in the pack here as well. I mean, but I'm sure there are going to be other third-party cases that you can get for this device to keep it protected. Now, cameras, we've got a dual camera setup on the rear. This phone is basically identical to the iPhone X, but the primary camera is a 12 megapixel sensor. The secondary lens is an 8 megapixel wide angle sensor, and then we also have an 8 megapixel front facing camera as well. Now, I'm really excited to get to the cameras with this particular device, so definitely stay tuned for the dedicated camera video that I'm planning on doing, because DxOMark rated this phone's camera between 90 and 93, which is up there with the top dogs. That's up there with the Pixel 2 XL. That's up there with the iPhone X and the latest Samsungs and Huawei. And man, the cameras on this phone are an absolute beast. And it's about time that Asus gets some love for their cameras, man. I mean, they make excellent devices, in my personal opinion, and they make some of the best cameras out there in the game, in my personal opinion. So y'all don't sleep on this device, man. But I kind of got a feeling that this may be, this may fly up under the radar, man, and just catch a lot of people by surprise. Or it's just going to get slept on, which if it does, I mean, it's unfortunate, because I know that this is going to be a really great device. Now, battery, we've got a 3,300 milliamp hour non-removable battery. We do have Type-C reversible connector with fast charging capabilities. I mean, so you will be able to top up your device in an absolute hurry if you're in a need for some additional battery. Now, additional features that we're working with here, we've got a fingerprint sensor on the back that is super quick. We've got dual stereo speakers, which sound really good. I've already watched a couple of videos on other people that did some reviews or went over some of the features and functions with this particular device, and man, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. We do have NFC. We've got Bluetooth 5.0. There is a headphone jack present that is rocking the DTS headphone X sound, and so I think that that's a technology that's kind of comparable to LG's Quad DAC and some of the LG devices. I'm not sure if it sounds as good, but it could. It may sound better. I don't know. That's something that we'll have to test. But if you like to plug in, then I guess you'd be overjoyed to know that there is a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on this particular device if this is an option for you. All right. So we've, as I mentioned, fingerprint sensor. We've got facial recognition. And there appears at the moment to be only 2 color variants that you can get this device in. You can get it in Midnight Blue and you can get it in Meteor Silver. Now this is the Meteor Silver version, and both colors are nice, but to me that Meteor Silver was the absolute truth. So let's quit playing, man. Got the unboxing knife right here. Let's get it. All right, let me turn that the other way so I don't cut my finger and end up in my workplace. The ER. Shout out to my ER team. Man, seem to be having a little difficulty here. Okay, let's see here. All right, I had to manhandle that tag real quick, y'all. My bad. So we back in. So let's get it. And you can see the presentation. Zenfone 5, the 2 little 5s right there, or the 2 little phones right there, which is Asus's little logo, and we love photo, and the way their cameras perform, there's no doubt about that in my personal opinion. And then you can see around the top and the sides, and on the back here, we've just got, your serial number, IMEI number, spec sheet, all that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and open this BizOx. All right, so pull up a little flap there. We love photo. And, okay, let's see here. All right, so SIM ejector tool with a little Asus branding on that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. That's pretty neat. Okay, so we do have a case right here, which, as I mentioned, is always a very welcomed feature. And so you can see the cutouts, very, very reminiscent of the iPhone 10. All right, and then we've got some more of the little labels there, serial number, all that stuff, quick start guide, Asus phone, in search of incredible. Absolutely. All right, so we'll go ahead, file that to the side. Oh boy. Now here is the device, and I think I forgot to mention this phone is rocking an 18 by, or is it a 19 by 9? I think it's an 18 by 9 aspect ratio. But let's see, let's go ahead and get this plastic. Oh man. Oh man. I know there's going to be a fingerprint magnet. Look at this. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what a thing of beauty this is. Oh my goodness. Shout out to the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus right here on the tripod, y'all. That's what I'm capturing this footage with. Look at that shimmer. This is absolutely stunning. My goodness. Wow. Okay. All right, well, we'll come back to the phone here in a minute, and let's see what else we have in the box. It appears as though we've got a lot of stuff in here. All right. So we've got some Asus branded headphones, and these are the in-ear headphones, so that's a pretty nice little luxury. We've got some additional gels right here to customize that fit for you. Here is the power brick for the fast charging. All right, and here is our Type-C cord for charging. Now, interestingly enough, this phone, even though it's glass on the front and the back, there is no wireless charging. Is that a disappointment? Not really. It's not really a necessity. It would have been nice to have it to where you can just set it down on a wireless charger and charge it, but my understanding is that the quick charge is super fast, and so that may not be something that you're going to need. So before I go ahead and power this bad boy on, as I mentioned, we've got an 18:9 aspect ratio. We do have the notch design right up there. You'll see that when I cut the phone on. Very little bezel here down at the bottom. I really like the way that this looks, like the way that it feels, the way that it curves around the sides. It really gives it a more comfortable hold in the hand. I like how it's rounded at the corners. I mean, it's not sharp on the edges. Personally, you know, I'm a big fan of that. You know, I like for the phone to be comfortable when I hold it. And a lot of these phones, they're big and they can be kind of cumbersome at times. So it's good that they keep ergonomics in mind, and, you know, knowing that you may have your phone in your hand for extensive periods of time. Now, scrolling around to the right side of the device, here is our power button along with our volume rockers up and down. To the top of the device, we've got a antenna line on the left and the right. And right here, there's a little teeny tiny little noise canceling microphone right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Now, to the left of the device, we've got another little noise canceling microphone right here. And then this is our SIM tray. And this is where we can house dual SIMs, or a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion. All right. And what I'll do real quick is I'll go ahead and pop this out for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so you see that? So as you can see here, this is where your Nano SIM 1 goes, and then the Nano SIM 2 can go here, or this is where you can place your SD card for memory expansion. So just wanted to verify that with you guys so you guys can see that with your own eyes. Let's go ahead and pop that right back in there like so. And bottom of the device, we've got another noise canceling mic. Here's our 3.5mm headphone jack. This is our Type-C USB port for charging. Here is another noise canceling microphone right here. And then this is the bottom firing speaker. So we do have dual stereo speakers. One is a bottom firing speaker here, and then the other one is up top here in the ear receiver. Now, moving around to the back of the device. God, oh man, this is just stunning. All right. Let's go ahead and get this little sticker off here. Goodness gracious, look at that. This phone is an absolute head turner. Asus branding right there. Fingerprint sensor, right where it ought to be. And then here is our vertical dual camera lens setup. Here's our dual tone LED flash. And then I believe the top lens is the primary 12 megapixel sensor. And then the bottom lens is the 8 megapixel wide angle lens. All right, so now let's turn on the device because I know we got some juice here. Powered by Android, Asus. See how long it takes to power up. As again I mentioned, this phone has the Snapdragon 636 processor. The 636 processor, it's a relatively new processor, but it was released in 2017, but it was utilized mostly over in other markets like China and other markets like that. And so it's really new here in the States, in the US. And so that is the processor chip that is in this particular device. And then there's also another variant that's going to be coming in the coming months. And so some of you guys may want to get your hands on that variant, but that's going to be the variant that's going to have the Snapdragon 845 processor along with 6 to 8 gigabytes of RAM. So you're going to have that as an option as well. Now, this particular device, I mean, I got this on Amazon for $398. So with tax, it came up to like $417 and some change or something like that. I mean, so that's not bad. I mean, and a lot of people really feel like this is a flagship killing device, and I wouldn't doubt it. Because there's a few Asus devices that I've had, and I definitely consider those to be flagship killing devices as far as the performance, camera performance, features, function, and most importantly, the price. You're not going to break the bank. You're getting a lot of value, a lot of bang for your buck. and so, that's always something that you got to consider, because, again, we're living in a day now where you no longer have to pay top dollar to get a good quality smartphone experience. All right, so as again, you guys can see, 18:9 aspect ratio or 19:9. I want to confirm that. I want to confirm that before this video is over, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the correct information. Because I know the iPhone 10, it's got a 19:9 aspect ratio at a 5.8 inch display. This display is a 6.2 inch. All right, so let me go ahead and get this bad boy set up. You guys chill on out for a minute, and I'll be right back with you. All right. Hang tight. All right, y'all. So we back in. Got everything set up. Now I didn't upload any of my applications on it just because I wanted you guys to see just how minimal the amount of apps are or bloatware that is on this particular device compared to previous Asus devices. Asus has been known. Yeah, in previous Asus devices, I mean, they would come chuck full with bloatware, with all kind of Asus bloatware, and that's not necessarily the case here on the Zenfone 5. And so this is everything that's preloaded on the device once you get it on and you finally get here to the home screen. So you can see you've just pretty much, I mean, you've got the Google Suite. Of course, it's not completely stock Android. I mean, you still have Zen UI over Android. We are running Android 8.0, so I wanted to throw that in there as well. I'm not sure if I'd mentioned that yet or not, but we do have 8.0 on board, and I believe that there is an update that's supposed to be coming soon to upgrade to Android 8.1. So definitely be on the lookout for that if you are rocking this device. But very little amount of applications that come pre-installed. I mean, we've got Facebook and Messenger. Like I said, we've got the Google Suite, Selfie Master, and then just like other devices, mainly like the Samsungs, if you want to access the app drawer, you swipe up, or, well, is it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you just swipe up. And then my understanding is that when you upload your own apps, either you will be able to continue to swipe up or you'll be able to side scroll back and forth to your apps. But this is all that is on the device. I mean, Google, Asus, Chrome, Facebook, Gallery, Google Pay, Instagram, Messages, Messenger, Play Store, settings, themes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I mean, so that's a pretty big change, for Asus, because they're used to putting a lot of bloatware on their devices. Now, go out of this, swipe down. Like I said, we do have Android Oreo, and so if you're familiar with Oreo, this is going to look a little familiar to you. Now, I'm a big fan of the Zen UI and how it looks. I mean, some people think that it's corny, cartoonish. Hey, man, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Me personally, I mean, I tend to like it, and so I like the way that this looks. We have a whole slew of options and things that can be customized up in your quick toggle settings. Now, if we go to the settings, then you will see that very consolidated list of settings here. And God, this screen is just absolutely gorgeous. Some people say copy off of Apple. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of devices may do something or they may introduce something and other companies, they spin off of it or whatever and do their own version of it. I don't have a problem with it. It drives the innovation. It's much better for us consumers. It gives us options, and I'm okay with that. And definitely stay tuned. Matter of fact, just this morning, it's May 22nd. The OnePlus 6 went on sale this morning. I ordered that, so I got that coming here in the next week and a half or so. So definitely stay tuned for that. That phone is an absolute monster. And what's it look like? It looks just like this. So, that's where we're at right now. The notch is a trendy thing right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people slammed it on the iPhone X, but here it is again, making an appearance on the Asus, and not just the Asus, but it's making an appearance on all kinds of phones that are coming out right now. I mean, it's kind of hard actually to find a new phone that's coming out that's either recently come out or that is coming out that does not have a notch. It's just a popular thing right now. That's just what it is. So if that's not something that you're a fan of, some devices do have the ability to, under the settings, under the display settings, you can black it out to where it would just be a black bar here at the top, if you feel like the notch is an annoyance to you. Or if you're okay with it, then hey, just leave it as is, But let's see here. Let's go down to System and About. And as you can see, we got Android 8.0 Oreo right there, fresh out of the box. And all right, now y'all, one of the first things that I always do when I get a new device to turn it on is I always check for updates. And I just got an update that popped up. It's a new version of Zen UI, and it says optimize your device with improved camera quality, fix phone icon missed calls, cannot correct or record issue, fix Facebook twin app login issue. And then there is more there. And so I always read what the update is going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and download. Oh, well, I can't download it now because I don't have enough juice, I don't believe. Interesting. Well, I'll download that soon, but wanted to show that off because, again, I mean, it's good to see, if there's any updates that the phone needs, fresh out of the box, boom, there it is. So that is definitely a plus. All right, so if you go into display, you've got a whole slew of things here. Now, if you want to change the button orientation, you can just click on navigation bar and you have the ability to do that. And you've got two settings. One setting is the conventional stock Android, when you've got the back on the left, home in the middle, and then recents on the right, or you flip-flop it and you have back on the right, home in the middle, and then recents on the left. And I prefer that orientation because although I'm a lefty, I always manage my phones with my right hand, and so I just prefer for my thumb to be closer to the home button and the back button. And so that's a nice feature to have. Or you can just hide the navigation bar altogether. And so navigation bar is there. If you want to hide it, you just hit that little arrow right there. And then, as you can see, swipe up from the edges to show the navigation bar. Okay. And then it just gets rid of those capacitive keys, and you can take full advantage of the 18:9 aspect ratio. So you definitely have that option as well if you want to do that. And then I notice here at the bottom, we have screen color mode, and right now it's on wide color gamut. And so if you want to toggle the color, if you want to make it cool, warm, or neutral, you have the ability to do so, or you can customize, your own, color per se, if that's something that you, want to do. And there's, right now it is neutral, and I think I will just go ahead and keep it that way. Let's see. Seems like there's a lot to learn about this phone, so I'm definitely going to have to dive in. So be sure to stay tuned for that full pristine review. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I mentioned that you've got 64 gigs of onboard storage, and as I also mentioned, I have not loaded any of my personal applications on this particular device. And so with the applications that come pre-installed on this device, 51.53 gigabytes is what you get if you get the 64 gig variant, because the preloaded applications are taking up 12.47 gigabytes of the amount of gig out of the 64 gigs. I mean, so 5153 is what you get fresh out of the box. All right. But again, as I mentioned, this phone does have expandable memory, so you can expand it up to 400 gigs, Asus is claiming. So, hey, that is always a plus, having the ability to expand the memory if, in fact, 64 gigs is not going to be enough for whatever you do. And if you're curious about facial recognition and you're wondering where to go to set that up, you just simply go into security and lock screen, and here is facial recognition right here, and then it will ask you to type in the security code that you set up as you are setting up your device, and voila, there we are. And so I will set this up and I'll talk a little bit more about this in the full pristine review, so definitely stay tuned for that. We're definitely going to test the performance of the facial recognition. And if it's anything like the Honor View 10, then I'd say they're on to something special, because that facial recognition on that phone definitely set the standard for me moving forward for facial recognition. Facial recognition on the Honor View 10 is what it ought to be. Okay, in my personal opinion. So we'll go ahead and click out of that. And if you're looking for a lot more advanced features that this phone can check in, or that this phone can do, then you check into the advanced little area there. And this is where you can start getting into the meat of the device and a lot of its features and functions. This is where a lot of like the touch gestures and things like that live. So right when you tap into it, you're going to see assistive tools. You've got page marker, twin apps, Game Genie, Zen Emoji, Zen UI Safeguard, OptiFlex. Then you've got kids modes. You got kid mode, easy mode, quick actions. You've got lift to check your phone, which I like that feature because you just have the phone laying down, you lift it up and the screen just comes on. You don't have to push any buttons or anything like that. So if you're just looking to check your notifications, then you can definitely do that. I believe this phone does have always on display, but I need to find it because a lot of this stuff is just tucked away. But I'm definitely going to plan to find that out and get that set up as well if this phone in fact has that feature. I'm hoping that it does. Screenshot, instant camera, double click the volume key to launch the camera. We have fingerprint gestures, so we'll go ahead and click on that. And let's see. So this is just for the fingerprint sensor, and so this is swipe down to check your notifications. Swipe down on the fingerprint sensor on the back of your phone. Okay, yeah, so I'll go ahead and enable that because I like that particular feature. Zen Motion. So Zen Motion. So this is where you can double tap to turn on the screen. Double tap to wake it. I'm a huge fan of that feature. Swipe up to wake up your phone. Let's turn that off. I like the double tap feature. Now here's the motion gestures. So we've got flip down to mute, which we've seen that on other devices. Hands up, lift the device to your ear to answer calls. We've seen that as well. And then there's a little tutorial. And then these are also some of the little gestures where you can write on the screen to activate applications. And I've seen this on other Asus devices, so this isn't anything brand new. But like if you want to launch the weather app, then you would just take your knuckle or your fingers and draw a W on the screen, and it'll launch the weather app. Draw an S on the screen to launch the camera. Draw an E on the screen to launch the clock. Draw a C on the screen to launch the camera. That kind of thing. You guys get the idea. And there's a tutorial at the bottom on how to do all that stuff if you're interested in learning all that stuff so that you can actually utilize it. All right. Now, we do have one-handed mode. And so let's enable that and double tap the home key to activate the one-handed mode. Okay, so double tap and there is the one-handed mode. So quick trigger, double tap the home key to activate the one-handed operation. Okay. And how do you get out of it? Okay, there we go. So you just tap the little directional arrow and that's how you get back to that full 18:9 aspect ratio. And let's see, we've got, as far as touch sensitivity, we've got pocket mode and we've got glove mode. So as you can see, this phone, it comes with a lot of stuff that you can do. Now, another thing that I was looking at is when you swipe down the notifications, when you hit the little edit button, look at all these quick toggles and things that you've got to customize. I mean, you've got mobile data, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, sound, just your typical stuff. Torch, which is the flashlight. A lot of people get that confused. The torch is the flashlight. You've got AI boost, memory cleaner, airplane mode, hotspot, location, auto rotate, calculator, blue light filter, NFC. So you guys see that. We do have NFC present right there if I can get the camera to focus on that. Report location, screenshot, multi-window, auto sync, one-handed operation, which I just displayed, cast, do not disturb, audio wizard, FM radio. There is an FM radio. And then we've got auto color temperature. And so again, you can, toggle the color temperature if that's something that you so desire. But just a lot of things on this device to customize, and that's one of the main things that I like about Zen UI because it gives you so much to really personalize your device and really make it your own. Now, the camera. Let's go ahead and launch the camera, because as I mentioned, this camera got a really nice DxO Mark rating. No, I don't want to tag my locations. Oh man, look at that. And as you can see, switch to wide angle camera. So that's the wide angle. And then that's the main camera. So I'll do that again so you guys can see that. Hit the wide angle. And then the main camera. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a shot. And now we'll get a wide angle shot. Very stunning looking photos. Very natural and true to life looking, in my personal opinion. Now let's swing the camera around to take a selfie. And as I mentioned, we have an 8 megapixel sensor here. Shutter speed is nice and quick. Looking good. Looking good. Great camera quality, great detail, color reproduction. I'm under this really bright light and it's really hot, and so I'm actually impressed on how it didn't overexpose. But yeah, God, this phone just seems like everything is a go, and so I'm excited about really digging into it, getting, personalize it, getting it all set up, and using it as my daily driver, throwing my SIM in it. Now, this is the international version. There is no release date as of yet for the for a US model, so we're not really sure if it's coming to the US. So I'll drop a link in the description if you want to order this device. I ordered it on Amazon, but you can also order it on eBay. There's some other places in which you could order it from as well. But just make sure, if you do order this device, make sure that you check the bands and make sure that you've got the proper compatible LTE bands for where you live, because I don't want you to spend your money on this device. Even though it's a really, really nice device, you don't want to spend your money on something that you're not going to be able to utilize. I want to make sure that you guys pop your SIM in and you're going to get that LTE connection that you want and need, and really be able to take full advantage of using this particular device. I've learned the hard way. I've got a couple of devices where I thought it was compatible and it wasn't, and I just wasn't able to use them at all whatsoever. Definitely not a good feeling. But that's all I got here, ladies and gentlemen, for the unboxing of the Asus Zenfone 5. If you like this video, you already know, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support the pristine movement. And to also expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Definitely stay tuned, because I've got much more content to come. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that every time I upload, you can be one of the first to view the content, comment on the content, drop any feedback, or if there's anything that I left out that you want covered, then I can definitely get back to you and do my best to accommodate whatever your wishes may be. All right. So again, I'm your man Pristine. This is the Asus Zenfone 5. You guys already know. Stay safe. Get spiritually fit. We're definitely living in the last days. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.